top carry is one of these two heroes that ended up pressuring the mid lane, but his addition to rotating mid at level 5, which is abnormally early, and then parking his butt there, basically just put pressure on the map for Nigma, and they had to try to offset this with their heroes. And what is it? A Death Prophet? Who's only level 3 in these circumstances, certainly not as strong as a normal support compared to like a level 6 hero. And the other guy's Phoenix. Phoenix is okay, pre-6, but it's more about team fighting with your ultimate and sunray damage and stuff like that. So mid one basically leveraging his hero to be able to do a lot of damage, but also to contribute healing ward. So here's the second Dragon ulti, by the way. There's only about 100 damage on OG's mid tier 1 tower at this point. Here comes, you know, hundreds and hundreds of magic damage on the Dragonite. Ends up being barely enough despite Weehaw's perfect itemization. Maybe he gets like a cloak early or something. That's the only thing I maybe criticize him for, but basically perfect early itemization. He still ends up dying. Healing ward allows them to keep the pressure on, and Clockwork again, one of the best diving supports in the absolute game, allows them to just completely abuse these supports consistently. And then they end up pressuring the mid tower a lot. Their opponents TP back in, but the same thing kind of just happens. They eventually get kills. Am tries to offset some of this, but he's just not the same hero as Jug with this much magic damage. And then what's happening in the meantime, we haven't seen Enigma in any of these clips so far. That's because he was sitting top, pressuring the lane with Darkseer. So even though that stuff was going well for OG in the mid lane, it was also going well for them in the off lane. Mind Control did rotate and kill this Darkseer, but like Kyle pointed out, Earthshaker doesn't rotate necessarily nearly as well as other typical offlane heroes. He didn't contribute very much to going mid to try to slow down the game, and he wasn't going to be able to do as much in the other lanes. So they get the top tower, they kill Earthshaker. Miracle making a giant mistake here, blinking in aggressively, thinking he could get away with this, but with Clock being here, he ends up dying. Which is basically said like, all right, things are looking a little bad, but now they're looking really bad. So OG's pressure in this game was incredibly well suited against the type of supports Enigma had, and it really allowed them to counteract the Dragonite, make him a worse hero, and then obviously take map control towers, and therefore a firm hold of the game.
Yeah, thank you very much, Purge. And I want to also again highlight No-Till's Enigma play. We've mostly seen that hero on the off lane, and sure, you know, you get the Necronomicon and he has a big impact. I felt like No-Till had almost same amount of impact from position 5.
Yeah, in a different style though, which is why it was so cool to see the innovation. You don't lower the cooldown on your W by leveling it up. It's all just for the laning. What I had a concern with Miracle's build, I rarely criticize him, but this was not the game to go all in a different style though, which is why it was so cool to see the innovation. You don't lower the cooldown on your W by leveling it up. It's all just for the laning phase, the denies early on, and the stun helps you secure kills with Jug. Remember what I had a concern with Miracle's build. I rarely criticize him, but this was not the game to go all in greed. He didn't finish Wraithband, no Orb of Corruption, no boots even, just rushing Battle Fury, and you saw him forced into that mid lane. If he's able to just output more pressure, like, and actually be a force, I think this game might go a little differently. If there were a game for like the Treads Orb build, I think this would be it, because it also makes it a lot harder to play this Darkseer. He has boots, AM doesn't, and no Orb of Venom, which means you can't actually hit Seb more than once if he's just moving.
I think he was just hoping for the game to be a little bit slower. He wasn't expecting the DK to be, you know, like quad laned mid, and like I think the rotation from OG just made Miracle go, wait, hold on, I can't fight them at all. I need to play. So he was kind of going for more of a slower build, but again, it was punished because OG
Echoes
just so
of
quick.
the Kiev Major. Where you just suddenly have everyone mid.
Surprise!
God, I'm just so hyped. This game 3. Enjoy it. Grab a drink. Because remember, we might not see this for a long time, Sheaves.
And I think that both teams have learned a valuable lesson in the 2 games before this. Play fast, win game. And if both teams play fast, we're going to have an absolute bloodbath. Let's find out what the teams have in store for each other in the draft. The 3rd game after the break.
crazy Porsche, forgetting all my losses. Chalk 'em on the board. I've been feeling so high lately, I just can't come down. I don't know why you hate me when you come around. I'ma burn it to the ground. Something new will come around. Build it up to break it down. Walls are crumbling, hear the sound. The heat is on and I know I'm cooking. Oh, are you with me? Are you down? If you're rolling, I'll tell you something. Don't miss the moment when it's found. Slow down for that stop sign. Roll now, but I'm alright. Storm clouds of that sunshine. Called you when I roll by, roll by, roll by. Running through the city till I drop. Don't know if you're with me or you're not. I'ma keep on winning through the lows. Holla if you hear me when I go, when I go, when I go, when I go. Running through the city till I drop.
Man, I've been back on the road. You wasn't ready to go. Straight from my soul. Thought that you never would fold. Really, that's all that I know. That's what's for sure. You left me out in the cold. Had to survive on my own. It helped me grow. Carrying all of these stones. Really just trying to get home. Yeah, cause I thought that you would never leave. We was moving up to better things. We could kick it till we 70. All the lives that I was better in. Now you complicated everything. Yeah, why I gotta be the first or last to no. We've been circling the block and pass and go. Never playing by the rules, you smashed the go. We were all in together like casserole.
I'm running away, running away. You never change. Get out of the way, out of the way. I ain't the same. I'm sick of your games. You running in circles. No, you are not in my lane. I'm taking my losses, countless games. Oh, and I'm fanning the flame. I'ma burn it to the ground. Something new will come around. Build it up to break it down. Walls are crumbling, hear the sound. The heat is on and I know I'm cooking. Oh, are you with me? Are you down? If you're rolling, I'll tell you something. Don't miss the moment when it's found. Slow down for that stop sign. Roll now, but I'm alright. Storm clouds of that sunshine. Called you when I roll by, roll by, roll by. Running through the city till I drop. Don't know if you're with me or you're not. I'ma keep on winning through the lows. Holla if you hear me when I go, when I go, when I go, when I go. Running through the city till I drop.
Game 3 between Team Nigma and Team OG. Team Nigma sitting 2-2 on their score so far. OG 2-1. Both teams kind of need this victory if they want to have a shot to not having to go through wildcards at the major, if they even make it there, because that is not even set in stone yet either. We're joined by Purge, we're joined by Cal, T-Gov, and we are in the draft, and we have the same bans and the same opening, and OG a Radiant again, and what is the same?
The
what
evolution.
That's
the clock.
Ah.
Okay.
There it is.
I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that, actually.
That means Shaker goes to OG?
Well, no, they won't pick
No,
Shaker
yeah.
because they pick clock to block it. But
Yeah.
I would have just left both. You take whatever you'd like for Kuro, perhaps, or even a DP early if you really value it that high. Because now OG just ignores Shaker, and you have a clockwork all of a sudden, first pick overall.
But I think in this position, like, look at the three drafts you had. The bans are the same in all three games. Bat, IO, Nyx, Morphling. Puck gets offered up for OG, they take it. In what scenario are they able to pick, Shaker first, Nigma go Clockwork? If you don't pick Puck, Nigma get the Puck. This is like the one scenario that they can play for right now.
And that denies, well, not denies, but I'm thinking Nigma goes this clock. They love the clock with GH Coddle. Because this is a 5 position for Kuro that sort of covers it. The thing is, Earth Spirit Puck can hunt a Coddle quite effectively, so I'm not sure they'll want it in this spot.
It was also
DP also looks good.
Yeah, it was untouched in the last series when it was offered up. So potentially another thing as well. And they go for the Viper. Yeah.
Wow.
Strong
Keeps
lanes.
getting banned out second phase.
Yeah, we talk about lanes winning games, and they just open up with this clock flex, and
Yeah, good luck getting a kill on any of these lanes. You can't really kill Clock very easily.
Yeah.
Viper, tough one too.
Exactly that.
Love it.
Viper's typically been played as an offlane by most players lately, but it can be flexible. You could put it mid, so I guess it does kind of give him those options right now as a flex.
And that's exactly what Nigma's been looking for. And when you think about these 3 games, the reason why these captains, these teams, they haven't changed like the pick or the side is simply because they think that their strategy is better and they need to make 1 or 2 adjustments to get there. And that's why we're not seeing like the bans change or the order change, because both captains believe so much in their team and what they're bringing to this draft.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so much fun. I appreciate good Dota.
Yeah.
Also, Thompson is just on fire. Like, I can't believe how consistent this guy is. Same goes with GH, though. I think for me, individually, these 2 are the standouts thus far. Both shined in the game that their team won.
It would be pretty interesting if Nigma do put this Viper mid lane into a potential puck, where you both just push the lane out, but Viper suddenly gets to farm up the 2 camps next to your jungle as well, because you're playing Radiant side. Yeah, it's now green. Oh,
it's a weird matchup. Like, Viper is certainly favored, but the old... I don't know if it functions the same as it was in the past, where Puck could never really pressure the Viper, but I remember when people used to counterpick Quaps with Viper, and you would just not die, and Quap tries to harass you, and you do so much damage with Corrosive, it's just ineffective. But the Earth Spirit equalizes things, because if you kill the Viper a couple times mid, suddenly you just feel terrible, because you want to play aggressive, now you're getting coiled, and you're just feeding on
Kill a Viper anywhere, mate, and you'll feel like nothing. If he has like 4 deaths in the first like 15 minutes, it's not really a Viper game anymore. It just becomes like this mobile ward that might buy a BKB if he's a lucky lad. Same bans though from OG, the Death Prophet, the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, Death Prophet's gotta go.
Nigma now... Sorry?
Pretty good against Viper as well too, potentially, because you just decrep whoever is going on, or decrep Viper himself, and then you reset your poison stacks, so that would make sense.
Interesting thing here is from Nigma, again, another drafting development. They pushed the Pugna ban from the final phase of bans up into that second phase, because clearly it's been a thing that they're scared of going into that final phase. And in terms of the big picture strategy and how OG just won that second game, I think that's why they're pushing up. So, okay, we can't have this much pressure. It simplifies them too much. They can play at 4. They can play it anywhere pretty much.
But they do leave with that the Lycan and the Clinks in, because they also ban the Juggernaut. We saw the healing ward being super successful, but the Clinks and Lycan in the pool.
The Clinks was a ban due to the Death Prophet pick, and then trying to keep that up.
Yeah, you don't mind as much when you have Clock. The thing I'd be spooked about is minion heroes. The Lycan is very scary. Illusion heroes aren't as good against Viper as they were in the past, because, as an example, the Juxtapose from PL doesn't proc if you're a Nether Toxin, but heroes like Lycan kind of eat you alive. 12, 13-minute Necro 3, there's nothing you can do if you just get ran at.
Is the Nigma then still a threat as well?
Not as much. The Clock somewhat covers that. You'll always have the BKB interrupt.
But I think it could be very easy for OG to pick Enigma right here, flex it between offlane and 5, and suddenly Enigma picks one hero, they reveal what's happening a bit more, and then OG gets to enter into that phase.
That hero, I think Enigma might just be good enough where there is no such thing as like bad matchups, because the hero just does so much damage. And
bring back the old Lich.
So much utility.
For the love of, I want to see the old Lich. I want to be able to sacrifice my creeps.
Oh god.
Look, there's a little smile from Purge. He knows. He agrees.
That's what I like.
I miss being able to play mid-Lich. I had a great time. That's the only reason I want it back.
The Prophet is so nice here. It owns both of this support duo for Nigma. And yeah, we just saw No-Tail on the Enigma, but this is what he used to do all the time.
I see it. I've seen it on the posters.
The key thing is, it's a support that has that kind of wall of, summons or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
They get to body block the battery assault. They get to harass the shaman who normally has boots and doesn't like to get punched. He likes to be the one punching. So yeah, I like the idea from OG. Trying to double down on the fact that Nigma has really strong lanes. So OG is going to try and get their strong lanes because of the support pick.
And you already have 2 hunters. You have Puck and Earth Spirit. 2 heroes that just need a little bit of bonus damage. This mid Viper, if it is mid, is in a lot of trouble. A roll in, a summon, trees spawn, it's 5 minutes in, and there's like what feels like 4 heroes under your tower. It's real difficult to play Dota.
They have kind of weak stuns though. That's one downside. Like they can certainly initiate on him and prevent him from leaving, but has a decent chance of getting a return kill in those circumstances right now.
I'd love to see like a Mars pick from Nigma here, because they play it in both lanes. I know we loves playing it mid, maybe not so much within the team environment yet, but I know within his pubs he does. So I mean, that could be like an open flex pick that they have demonstrated within the last 2 games. And it does really well against like overwhelming tower pressure, but not direct
What do
tower
you-
pressure.
What do you think about Ember Spirit?
Also works pretty well, for sure.
What about Shadow Fiend?
What about Shadow?
This is not the time for that purge. Don't make Kyle happy.
Yeah, the Shaman's nice. It's another hex mechanic, but it's a lot better than the Lion in this game.
And
Just
they're taking
because
a
the
lot
Earth
from
Spirit factor.
Yeah, again, like we mentioned, like what pick is the most critical part of the draft. For Nigma right now, on this pick, this pretty much unlocks everything for OG to understand. Because you're going to know what is the Viper, what is going to be the weak lane that you can potentially counterpick straight away. And this is why this pick's so vital. Often, the better teams will get a more kind of, where's the hero going, the flexible hero, unless there's a big hero. But OG, they've picked 2 supports and a puck, you know, like it's so hard to pick a core with confidence and not suddenly get countered by a PL or some big kind of win condition.
And if you pick a carry hero that's exposed by Prophet,
Oh, well done.
man.
Oh my god! Oh, thank you,
Dude, it's just way better if you're not acting surprised that you're
No,
gonna
I
ride.
don't care. Mom, I made it. I did it. Sorry. Anyway, OG, they got one more pick left. This is where they get to maybe try and get a big boss core. But again, like I said, the flexibility of the Mars and the Viper does cause some concerns for OG, I think, in getting the perfect pick.
No-Tail talking to his teammates.
Yeah.
Who sits on the left? That's important because if it's a core
Oh, it's
player,
mid one.
It's mid
'Cause
one.
Look, the monkey in the background. See the monkey face?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes,
yeah, you're
okay.
right.
So he's talking about. Oh, there it is. That's why they picked the
Yeah,
Ricky.
there it is.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
That's a deep.
Oh,
That's some.
Good analysis,
thank you.
background analysis.
They've done
I
this
like
in the past. They really like Riki against Mars. I mean, it's
Mm.
relatively simple, but you know, Mars blocks damage from the front. Riki does bonus damage from the back.
I will say that
Countered.
the matchup used to be very Ricky favored, but I feel like it's maybe shifting more towards Mars just because the type of laners he's with allows complete pressure to Ricky. And there is a point where the Ricky, when he's by himself on an island, the Mars suddenly kills him, the game
Yeah.
can feel awkward. And he isn't a carry that suddenly moves to the other side of the map and pressures.
However, it goes both ways because you can also trick the trade out of the arena. It's just about whether or not you get caught and speared to the wall. You are a very low HP hero, but you're still. I just love this because when you have a Prophet, you want high reach heroes and you want an invis hero if you could get it, and you want stuns and catch. You have all of this now, and you represent so much threat. You could be just chilling in a lane by yourself. All of a sudden, a Riki's there. There's a roll in. There's a summon Wrath of Nature hits. And you're like, oh shit, I'm dead.
So, as far as the previous 2 games go, where we saw a team that played fastest won the game, basically, how fast are these 2 lineups able to play?
Pretty slow actually in regards to game 1, game 2.
Yeah.
These are both kind of lineups that need a bit more time. The Viper traditionally needs to have an item or 2 before complete domination. He does do well in lane, but for OG, the Ricky needs Battlefield +1. But he will join fights.
If
you know.
Riki runs through Nether Toxin, he uninvises, right? And also wouldn't do the extra backstab damage.
A purge?
I don't know that one. I can
Yeah,
check
it's a
that.
very specific situation. I know
Fairly certain
that
it's
if
a
you
passive.
are not invis and within it, you don't go to invis.
Yes.
I assume, logically speaking, you shouldn't suddenly become visible. I think that's a bit too nothing.
Because it already triggered.
Exactly. That would be my assumption on the situation. Because I have seen Rickies before stand within Toxin and get surprised when they do die. It's very comical.
Alk ban, good ban.
And an Oracle ban.
So Nigma are very much in the position that this is the offlane
Enigma,
Furin,
yeah.
and now they have this Enigma flex like we mentioned earlier that keeps their draft a little bit more open because they are first pick. Nigma, they need a hero, I think, that applies pressure. They have strong lanes, but they need someone who can say at minute 15, at minute 20, join me and take this fight. This is why the likes of Alk and Monkey King are amazing bands because they're heroes that at that window want to cross that river.
Could you can't, Evo, never mind.
Purge,
It
you
does-
are in
it
the
does
lob.
make you visible.
It does make you
Yeah,
visible?
even if
Does.
you're if you run on another toxin, you're instantly visible. If you
Wow.
run off, you
Ooh.
become invisible again. So it's basically where you are on it.
All right,
But
I have a
really
question,
careful.
Purge.
It's not common, but
Purge, are you in the
juice
lobby?
Oh,
Wow.
no, I'm not.
Darn it. I want to know who's playing what on the side of OG. There's so many possibilities.
we have an answer.
Mid one Ricky,
Yeah.
Sep
makes
Naked
sense.
Prophet, no
Okay,
Tail
So
Enigma.
the question is, do you put the Enigma against the Dusa just to try and slow it down? It's a really nice pick. You're gonna run out of damage on the side of OG here.
I think the important thing here is the Enigma plays with the Ricky most likely, just to ensure he has a start to the game, get some XP, and then it's about the pressure you have. And I like the fact that even though Nigma picks this Medusa, who is so hard to kill behind this wall of aggression that they're going to have, the Enigma will eventually pressure her in the fight. Like, if you don't have ult, I can kill you.
5 position.
No, but like, you still have to respect that threat.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like both drops. This is going to be an incredible game.
Third game to the series, Purge. What do you got?
Yeah, I think Ricky can be pressured in lane by Mars. We saw it in another match the other day, so I think putting Enigma there is going to help offset that. But I think the Ricky matchup against Medusa doesn't seem that terrible to me. So OG, I guess. I'm not super confident though.
It's all going to be about pace and tempo. Like, if OG can take command of the game again, they're going to be in a really good spot. But Seb has to play an excellent game. You're going to see massive collapse upon middle. It's just survival for the side of Nigma. Keep your towers alive, find good fights with Arena, and can't lose towers and map control early.
More even game than the previous two.
Yeah, this should be like a 45-50 minute plus game for sure. I think there's no way this ends quickly.
Over under 1.5 rapiers.
There's no 1.5. What is 1.5?
Over.
Agreed.
How do you do 1.5 in a one game? There's literally either 1 or 2.
Exactly. Will there be more than 1.5 or less than 1.5?
We got a game 3
Machine, let's get some energy, please. Thank you.
Woo! All right, I am very hyped for this as well, and I'm going to be more hyped listening to Cap and Fog.
That's right. Thank you for that wonderful 2.5 panel that we just saw as we head into Game 3 of Nigma versus OG and Fogged. It feels like we are going to have slight differences in style. Where do you think this lineup is going?
Oh man, I quite like OG just because they have a very comfortable line with it they just played with. But then I'm seeing this last pick Medusa could be a threat because they might just run out of damage. But again, I do feel like it might be slow. It might be too slow. Viper and Medusa are very immobile heroes, so it's gonna be really telltale where the fight's gonna be. I feel like OG has a good way to be able to move and force lanes out and just pick and choose where they're gonna be battling, and maybe it's gonna catch Nigma a bit off guard. Either way, I'm excited to see how it's going to all kick off. I'm excited to see how much this Viper is going to be able to do also versus this Ricky, and just if the 5 position Enigma is going to work and if it's going to become more popular. This is looking pretty cool.
If I could describe these lineups, I'd say it's like OG who are going to have the faster paced mobile lineup that is looking to outmaneuver Nigma, but Nigma, they have the brick wall. You know, OG has the lineup that might be able to outmaneuver until they run into that Viper in a good position on a high ground or the Mars arena. Like, quite literally, there is going to be some serious barriers when it comes to either the Cogs, the Stone Gaze, the arena. Seb?
He looks like he knows. He's taught them, man.
I mean,
there's a lot of 5-man movements.
Yeah,
he's going to scout the trains.
All right, well, they're going to push down. It looks like Soxa is still going to try and get this bounty rune, perhaps, because it's just a Medusa. So, yeah, he does grab it. And as a result, 3 bounty runes for OG.
But yeah, I definitely agree that it really does feel like if the fight is where Nigma's able to actually get this Viper stand down and Mars gets a good ult and Deuce's on their backline, they can. But I think OG has ways to play around it. They have these 2 heroes that can jump out of the Mars ulti very easy. The Puck as well as the Ricky have ways to be able to play around it pretty nicely. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see, as it can be a very make or break hero. You know, Viper is a pretty risky one to pick in these type of matchups, but they do like it versus that Puck, and that's why they did go for it.
We're watching Weeha's Dragon Turtle Viper, one of my favorite sets, just pushed into mid lane into the Thompson Puck. The bot
that set looks so weird.
Oh yeah,
it really does.
It's pretty funny. I actually want to talk about this bottom lane because I think the analyst had some interesting things to talk about. Riki is just sort of like a kind of very straightforward 1-to-1 counter to Mars. He's hard to lock down with a spear, can get around Bulwark, but I thought it was interesting what T-Governor was saying about the fact that based on the support, you can pressure the Riki still a lot in lane. As Weeha may actually die here with all this aggression that he was going for. Thompson, he's going to go for an easy creep deny, but it's not going to be enough. Thompson,
oh my God,
claims the first blood, and Weeha is already suffering.
And just the thing is too, is the way, maybe this will be a breakdown for Purge or something like that, but just looking at that, how he played it, this was actually Viper forcing the wave in super hard. Thompson not last hitting. Thompson was just right-clicking him during all of it, so he actually got him low enough to be able to chase down. That was a pretty cool Pretty cool little play coming out from the two of them there. And yeah, back to the thing about the support pushing out. I've been seeing that a lot lately, actually. I know Brian made up a point about it too when you're playing with like Legion Commander. It's not about the threat of the front hero, it's the threat of the back hero that actually shuts down a lot of these carries. So I quite like that too, where Shadow Shaman is good versus the Riki. High base damage, you have this control.
An interesting note that they both went for Orb of Venom in that side lane. Midwan was given extra tangos to get the ooh first, and Mind Control picks it up a little bit later in order to try and continue this pressure onto the Riki. They are just demolishing some Eidolons though in this bottom lane.
Yeah, that's the thing that it offsets. Is like they do have this Enigma who's getting these constant denies. So you see, he's already got he's about to have the 8th one, but they are getting those Eidolon trades because it's a Mars versus these summons. So there's like this fun trade that's going between the two of them. And mid one, he's coming out.
He's going again. Thompson gets in front of Weehaw. He's gonna jump
way.
forward into the tower. Whoa!
Oh, what? He stopped it.
He stopped that last attack. Weehaw didn't have a Fairy Fire. He gets the salve from the courier, so he'll be able to play back into the lane still, but...
That looked like he was dead. He must have maybe hit the tower and then stopped instantly just as soon as he thought he didn't get it. That was, yeah, a bit of a slip up there from Thompson, maybe. That's now Weehaw. Maybe he can take advantage of it.
Oh, GH. Do manage to kill No-Tail in the bottom lane while we're watching Weehaw continue to try and pressure Thompson. He is actually now out of mana, which is going to be an interesting turn of events for this matchup. He actually still has a Mango in his back pocket, though.
Yeah, he's going to bring just Salve Mango to be able to lane, but yeah, Weehaw now has won the sustain war, and he might be able to get Thompson. Fairy Fire play, he'll be okay. They're actually going to bring Soxton maybe to kind of bait. Thompson going to go for a bait play here, and they're going to try kicking him under, perhaps?
Yeah, this is perfect. They give him the salve and immediately go for the roll-in kick. So Thompson gets just enough HP that he'll be able to survive and get aggressive onto the Viper twice now that Weehaw has died, this time to a big rotation. It does leave Seb alone, but honestly, what can a Clockwork really do to a Nature's Prophet? Those Treants cause them some serious havoc with that battery assault.
I've been seeing this dynamic so much lately, actually, in the EU DPC is this offlaner plus Earth Spirit. The offlaner just gets left alone, and he just does just fine, and the Earth Spirit can make so much spaces. They're even getting onto Miracle as Kuro's battery assault just comes back up.
Yeah, Seb doing a lot of work with this Nature's Prophet. Gets right in the face of Miracle and Kuro. Weehaw trying to make use of this haste rune that he found, but Thompson, greetings, he says. I'm willing to fight you. I'm willing to fight back. I'm not going to be just totally pushed out of my lane after all. I've already gotten 2 kills.
Very fun lane to watch here now. Just Thompson dancing around while poisoned the whole time.
Miracle's dead. Look at these Treant blocking. Seb is relentless.
Very nicely done. That's huge. Whenever you're able to slow down Medusa at all, like 1 or 2 deaths, these deaths really hurt when you're playing this full 4 protect 1 especially. Seb being enabled also, that means he's going to have an early level 6.
We got to get a W in here somewhere for Nigma, and maybe that's going to be No-Tail going down the mid lane fight, though. Can Weehaw win this before the TP? He does. He does manage to get the kill on Thompson. Soxa will collect the bounty for Weehaw's Viper, but still, well worth the trade-off, I think, this time around for Weehaw. Meanwhile, Mind Control also got the kill on bottom lane on the Enigma, as they're able to catch him out. Kuro's now going to play in this bottom lane as well. They really want to pressure this Riki pre-6.
Yeah, really deep ward, too. They wanted to try to pressure with the catapult wave. They'll get a nice courier kill, but No-Tail actually just eats the catapult. The beauty of having a 5-position Enigma is now your push is gone bottom lane. So Kuroki makes the move bottom, but now that's going to leave the Medusa up top isolated. And now it's going to be this important next timing for OG. Level 6 on the Nature's Prophet's going to come out pretty soon. Then they can look to make so many global plays. Weehaw has to be careful. Even bottom lane has to be careful how far they step up. Nigma has to be prepared for that 6 to come out at any moment.
Well, they may have killed a lot of Eidolons, and they may have killed even No-Tail himself a number of times. The resulting space still puts Mid-1 top of the CS, so they weren't able to pressure the Riki as much as maybe they would have liked, like the way Tiga was talking about. Instead, that duo has just been killing the 5 position over and over again.
Mid, Thompson, he actually uses the orb.
And the Invis managed to get him with a strike. Thompson doesn't have a quick way out of here, but just far enough underneath the tower that Weehaw doesn't feel good about diving any longer. The raindrops definitely being a big mitigating factor there in the kill power, as Mind Control does have a spear. Mid-1 He's gonna wait out the cloak and just pin him in order to get back. Roll up top lane, rolls past Miracle, straight into the hands of GH, immediately hexes him up. They still get a nice kick onto Miracle, but they're running out of damage now. And Seb, he's been caught by Kuro. The creep wave's coming in, though. The battery assault isn't nailing him every single time. Seb is hoping to be able to get the kill on GH before he goes down. Fairy Fire keeps him alive for a little bit longer. They both get traded out here, while Saksa, trying to juke away into the trees, does have a roll-up blocked by Kuro. Okay. Can they still get this somehow? The cogs, oh no, it pushed him out.
Nice aggressive moves. And the fact that they could at least bait the coil mid means that Wrath of Nature's not as threatening. They almost get the kill top onto the Medusa, but they will get Seb first. But still, OG, they're okay with this. They're still getting good farm, up to a 2k advantage. Mid one is not being pressured, and sure, Seb goes down, but he's still farming really well up in that top lane.
Yeah, now my control is level 5 against a level 6 Riki in a solo lane. He does not want to be there any longer.
Yeah, the power of this Enigma. I mean, honestly, he's died twice, but 16 denies. Look at that disparity in experience and just farm too. It's really working. It really is. And maybe we'll start to see some more rise of these support Enigmas. It does seem pretty clever. Especially versus these tanky offlaners where your Midnight Pulse is just going to start getting super valuable later on too. GH, he stepped a bit far up.
Pushed him back first with God's Rebuke. Mid one opting not to chase any further. No need to. He's just keeping them out of experience range.
They'll bring Miracle toward the mid lane to start clearing up some jungle camps as Weehawk pushes Sox away. And there was the Wrath of Nature. So looking to make these constant plays around that. Yeah, up to a 3k gold lead. OG really starting to take over. And it really feels like it's going to be tough for Nigma to set up a lot of aggressive moves, especially to shut down mid one ever. It's not going to be easy until My Control has that level 6 in particular.
Yeah, they just simply don't have any real big kill power. They don't have that big threat on the board. So OG feels like they're able to just be super aggressive without much punishment.
And both games so far that we've seen, the team who's able to play aggressive, the team who's able to dictate the pace of the start of the game has been pretty solid as Miracle. He's found, kicked out of the coil.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Miracle is barely going to survive, though, thanks in part to the Hex. There was the silence, though. Nice play from Saksa, preventing the extra disables onto the puck. It does mean very likely Saksa is going to give up his life to protect Thompson, but still, quick thinking by him.
Now, My Control has to take the top lane because he wants the lane versus this Nature's Prophet. Viper has to jungle. But this downtime, I feel like OG's fine. OG's really happy with this, and it feels like the downtime's going to continue. I don't really know how Nigma forces the issue as bottom. GH shows his face. He's getting surrounded by 3 heroes.
Something Kyle was talking about in the draft. At any point in time with a Nature's Prophet, an Invis hero, and a ganking 4, you're just going to get outmaneuvered. You never know when you're just sitting by yourself and all of a sudden there's going to be 3-4 heroes quickly surrounding you. 10-minute bounty runes are coming up here. Kuro looking to secure them, but No-Tail's already in position to stop that one. And with the Malif